Oh, this room. It's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to say so familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you left it. Quite literally, I haven't mopped or cleaned up the place. Also, my nose. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So is your father alright, Susie? What happened? I almost said Ginny. My father? Yeah, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why he went back to Japan. Because of the telegram he received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever. That's right. So I was surprised to find you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very well relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh yeah, that thing! The International Forensic... That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all... Excuse me. I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course. I shall. And there's one other thing. Why'd it go quiet? Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About... you know who. Kazuma. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Okay, let's start from the top. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? The one with Giselle Brett being killed? Oh yeah, okay. Ooh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh yeah, the court had this whole no girls allowed thing. Well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Runo? Yes, I suppose so. I want to play as being a lawyer now. I can wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old. I'm very tiny. I never hit my growth spurt. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. Oh, I didn't get to see the drawing. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. Why would that be? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refused to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. Did you sneak off without your dad knowing? And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Ah, Susie. That's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jikoku have been invited. I'm still suspicious about that judge, because I don't speak Japanese very fluently, but from what I remember, Jikoku is Japanese for hell. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading example in forensic medicine. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro Jikoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruto. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. He's the one who tried me? That terrible trial of yours, when you were accused of murder. I try to think of it as a positive turning point in my life. Well, it was Judge Jikoku who presided over that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy to never see that man's face again in my life. Maybe outside of a courtroom. Oh, well anyway. As Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. Oh, he's here too? Oh, okay. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end, he agreed to let me go on ahead. Daddy, please! No, please! No, please! Okay. About the symposium, it seems as though Lord Strongheart's put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. Wait. Lord Strong... Is Attorney General higher than Lord Chief Justice? Okay, they say it's the most senior position, but Lord Chief Justice sounds a little... I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not British, but Lord Chief Justice sounds a lot higher than Attorney General. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech about all this stuff. Oh yeah, it was like a very long speech of 400 or 500 things, and Ryunosuke dozed off. But I sort of lost to live early on and didn't listen to much of it. I'm trying for you. Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Huh? Is it one of those, okay, this person's name, we're gonna make it like she never existed? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist? Do I have... I know she's dead, but is she in here? Damn it. So it was a fake name? Didn't exist? How could that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. Oh! Oh my god! Sorry. Just in the fifth case of the first Ace Attorney Chronicles game, there was a Morse code. It had A Shin like for a name, and Shin was the last name. A front. Who on earth was she then? Miss A Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. She snuck in? It's a complete mystery. That doesn't make sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign exchange student anywhere. What could she have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. And in disguise, no less. And now she's been killed. While all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. A Shin. Who on earth was she? Does no one remember the Morse code? Ryunosuke, you should remember! After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. Oh yeah, many memo. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. and that visiting student's fate. Nobody in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know about that guy never made to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never... And then he got tossed.
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what was going on.
What did you learn? Please, please, please.
After he...
Oh. Sorry, I thought she meant many Memo died, and I was thinking, no, we need answers.
After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff.
Should have been? Did they dump his body?
Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just
disappeared? Don't tell me Cosmo was faking his death or something. Cosmo's body vanished?
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except, Cosmo-sama isn't there.
Wait, so... I'm guessing they they made that gravestone in a secluded area, so no one else besides Sato could go there? Did Professor Mikoto know about this?
Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Cosmo-sama's body as we speak.
Can we get that steamship back here and we can investigate?
I don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden?
Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Bordia were definitely strange. Did they seriously plan for a cat to suddenly appear and be involved in him getting dead?
I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we?
I honestly assumed they had some sort of, like, morgue-ish keep place on the ship.
Could it be?
Could it be he's still on there? I mean, we've introduced the poison idea where someone's supposedly dead with strychnine, so could be that, but also maybe they kept the body somewhere. For how long, I have no idea.
Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he?
He knew! He knew!
And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly.
You're right. So if Cosmo hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes lied to us all! We need to get to it. We need to get him. Hold his favorite machines hostage until he tells us the truth.
But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing.
I suppose that's true, yes.
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turned out not to be true.
Oh yeah.
Then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair.
Oh!
I'm terrified of what that might do to me.
Mrs. Sato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about after all. So I probably shouldn't push it. Is Iris here? There she is! Wonder if I could boop her on the nose. Boop! Must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's own notes. It's about one of Ellie's greatest exploits. I call it the Hound of the Baskerville. Oh yeah, I remember that. But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it. Put the manuscript somewhere no one could get their hands on it. So nobody knows about it, apart from Early and I. Susanto knew! But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? Oh, it sounds so exciting, The Hound of Baskerville. I should love to read it. Wait, that super expensive dog collar with blood on it and the letter B. That, maybe that's where the whole Hound of Baskerville came from? And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Ow! I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. Was it in that letter? Okay, I remember she got a blue letter. Was it in there? It was completely by accident that I came to know this title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study, and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskerville. What? A Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. But Father came in and... Susanto, what are you doing? Go to your room. Father, did you look at those papers? No, yes, I simply read the label. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else. Do you understand? Can anyone just explain things? Why all the secrets? But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? He's the editor? I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions. And there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I've no doubt that Father had a very good reason for being so secretive, but still. I've made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. I'm guessing we don't mention this to Mikotoba when he arrives a month from now. Well, thank you for being honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. In one night? Or one day? Dang, she's fast. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum. So you're fully abreast of the situation? I'd expect nothing less, to be honest. I would think our first port of call should be to investigate that Mr. Drebber. The engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to affect this extraordinary trick. Isn't affect a noun? Okay. Maybe my bad grasp on English is kind of bad, but I was pretty sure, I thought effect, like with an E, was the noun, and affect with an A was a verb. Yeah, it's a conjurer of sorts, by the sound of it. Well known in the fields of science and magic. Don't throw me! Then we need to go and arrest him. We're not police, though! We're just attorneys! Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree you really do need to find him. Please don't throw me. At the very least, throw Drebber. Sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police, or a great detective. I don't know. Iris, I hate to break it to you, but my faith in Sholmes' detective skills, they're very slim. Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away.
Good idea. Well, best of luck then.
You're not coming today?
We're going to Brixton Road shortly for the air market. Well, let me know later how you got on, won't ya?
That was a little abrupt. The pull of the air market must be strong. That... I was about to say, what if she's lying, but then... I'm trying to remember if there was a case, any point where she lied and it was a real, she was a bad liar or something. Also, quick beverage break. Whoa. Ice cold water. Maybe she's going to the herb market for tea ingredients. Do we get to see Cat? Oh, he's not here. Oh, I want to see the kitty! Oh! Who's that? Their hair reminds me of the, there was a Pokemon character where I think he's a professor and he has his blonde hair with a really long blue streak. I can't remember his name. I think it was Professor... name that starts with C. Who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder... I've never seen her before. Oh, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. Can I see the lady again? And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. I'm just doing my job! You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Are you saying it's my fault that everything's going awry? All because I revealed that some asshole made a sham? Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh boy, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. Special dispenser that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. Scrap metal now? It's scrap metal now, is it? Can I at least investigate it? Sorry, I was about to say it, like, this late... I feel like she looks like... Okay, maybe it's just the shading, but it looks like she has some, she hasn't been getting enough sleep. Also, I don't know, I feel like her full body sprite, I thought it was really cool, especially with the jacket. Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Can I at least get your name? And get your testimony? Who is that? Don't hit me! That was Dr. Courtney Scythe? Or Sith? I'm guessing the pun is Courtney as in court, and I'm thinking Scythe as in like the Grim Reaper. Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of the case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Gimme, gimme, gimme! I see. About Mr. Assman. I still find that name funny. Like, the full name is Odious Man, but it looks like Assman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you much about what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So he's not running quite so spectacularly late. Oh god, I just imagine. It turns out his pocket watch is broken. Okay. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now. Unofficially, of course, to pave the way.
Goodness, a year ago?
At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine! I mean, will be mine. And criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. I intend to see to it personally. Birds! Sorry. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future. Look at those eyes. He means every word. Even the birds know. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Yes, my lord?
Her father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month.
Wait, I forgot. How long is this current symposium going with the machines and inventions? Was it a full year or just for about a month or so? Because, I don't know, for having to wait a month, it seems kind of tardy, but either they're holding a second symposium when he arrives, or it's gonna be like, we had a bad case of scheduling and he's gonna be late, we're sorry. Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. You knew my dad? My memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Chikoku accompanied him as a young promising judge. I did not know there were two people involved, that came over from Japan. The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. I hope I pronounced that right. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were! Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. Saint Sinners? Courtney Scythe? Sinner? These names? Wait, Sinner or Signer? Dr. Scythe was also there, as it happens.
Then, Dr. Scythe knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. Do I have her profile in here? 39. And how old is Mikotoba, if he's in here? Oh, he's not. So 15 to 16 years ago, so she was 24? But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? It's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I get, like, one-handed, it does seem like a long time, but On the other hand, I guess to be fair, there were cases of like some students they travel abroad and study for a few years. Like when I was in high school, I think ninth grade, we had an exchange student from Germany, and I think she stuck around up until graduation.
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas? Were babies not allowed?
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Oh.
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
Oh! What? What do you mean? Don't tell me it was one of those, ew, I'm a dad now, run away. Clearly something was going on at the time. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? Hey! You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. Snap! And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered, it was just after young Barrack had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barrack Von Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word.
So it's like, wherever he goes, the ghost of his brother just curses the convicts? Or something like that? So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, it's his brother's ghost? Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Oh, right, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. Can we look at it? Are you well versed in science then? Not really! Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Though technically, what was going on with the machine would count as science fiction. Well, the special... Wait, should there be a comma there? Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sykes' team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Touch everything, got it! Thank you! Being able to look at it is better than nothing.
And I'll be able to see it too.
Also, if he says technically you can't touch it, does that mean we can just walk in with chopsticks so we're not technically touching it? Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to, in preparation for the symposium. There he goes. I don't know if I need to investigate anything. Nothing seems off. Whoa! I am crap at math, so I have no idea what any of this means. Unless it's supposed to be gibberish. Also, are prisoners allowed to draw on the walls like this? Like, I know the whole, like, some made tallies of how many days they've been in jail, but to do full-on science formulas, is that allowed? What? What's he doing?
Oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations.
And he's still writing more. What if he runs out of room? Professor? Sorry to interrupt. Mr. Naruto. And who is this young lady?
My name is Sasato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you! Are you hitting on her? Also, wait. 16. Maybe try to find refined young women your own age. None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all.
Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you.
I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would. Oh, no. The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete and utter clot.
Professor Hairbrain, what have you been working on in your cell?
An escape plan. You mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see. I actually had to write it down. The wall was all I had in hand. Oh, is it a new hypothesis? Something surpassed that? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis? Or SHVIK? I might have to shorten that because that is a very long phrase. No, actually, this is my autobiography. Your autobiography is math? I'm just as confused as you are, Chisato. How I was diddled and fiddled! Maybe you should work on that title a bit, because that can have some very, questionable connotations. I thought I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers and an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. Also, are there really odd numbers back there?
Really?
I'm gonna have to pay it all back to pay back all the loans I took from the kinesis machine. So it's going to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, an odd birth and odd upbringing. It's so tiny. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was fiddled by the power of those riddles. By Asman, and by that aloof engineer, Trevor. We're not gonna have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? Please don't. Wait, wrong thing. Damn it, I can't examine the wall. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even.
I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way.
No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public.
No, of course you didn't.
But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong! Logically, it makes no difference if you're aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me.
Oh, Professor.
He believed in me this morning, you know. Barak did. He believed in my hypothesis. I think. He did, but... It was a weird thing, like, the idea was that if her hypothesis was sound and 100% legit, then he would have been guilty. Yeah, exactly, that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution's case. I don't know, Barak wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean? after the terrible accident happened. Nobody would believe my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there. Not naming names when I say lawyers, but there's one over here. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Barak, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense.
And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor.
Exactly. Hey, is he the ace? Or crap, I've seen them. I only saw them interact like a few times, but are they kind of have a thing going on? No worries. No worries. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad. I just hope this is entertaining. Would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barrett insisted I was a proper man of science from start to finish. Oh wait, was my cursor in the way this whole time? Oh god, it was. I'm sorry.
You think that's why he...
I know him very well indeed. He's my boyfriend. I mean, he's an extremely kind-hearted soul.
But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he?
Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul thing? Mr. Buttman. Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start?
I'm sorry to say, but that does seem likely.
When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I had written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so empathetic.
But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network.
He made a lot of empty promises. I still can't believe it. Oh, there's a Gina. She's a killer. Look at me, I'm a genius, don't you agree, Van Zeeks? He's a dumbass, therefore he's the killer.
This machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually.
But the scale of it, it wasn't just some small trick. Unless it was made out of popsicle sticks and glue. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely little part-time work to try and earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that, only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe.
It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice.
Mr. Booty Man is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer.
Mr. Enoch Drebber.
I still don't know what the pun is for the name. Oh yeah, I met the, wrong thing. I think her name is pronounced Scythe. Like, I haven't met her yet, but when I went to the Lord Strongheart's office, she was there, and she was like, oh, hello there, goodbye, and that was it. Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler? He could be all three. Who knows, he might be at 2 for it right now. It was about a year ago when Mr. Cake Man first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusion. Oh wait, but at no point did you have any inkling he was an illusionist? Enoch Drebber is a first. Oh! Oh! Ah, okay. Sorry, I feel bad. I never read the Sherlock Holmes novels. But yeah, I was looking at the Enoch Drebber's name and thinking, what's the pun here? Thank you for the info, Izzy. Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He's a scam artist! He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. Though, like, I get the feeling his knowledge, extreme knowledge in science, would have aided him a bit more, and like, it's like if you have a piano player who, for comedy's sake, needs to like make play really badly, and they know the craft so well, they know exactly how, where, and when to hit the wrong notes. Something like that, but applied to here. I see. Sign of 4. Sorry. Like, I was about to say, I was thinking about what other Sherlock Holmes novels I can recall. I know Hound of Baskerville, and for some reason my brain went, wait, what about Murder on the Orient Express? Wait, no, I think that's Agatha Christie.
But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts?
He's in my hair! I'm sorry. We've only ever discussed the kinesis machine. Nothing else. Tomorrow Watson gets British. Watson, get thee to a nunnery! Although, just once. I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Trevor's enormous fabrication laboratory. Fabrication as in fake stuff laboratory? Where he constructed my great machine. Give us the address. Give me the address! Why did you mention this before? Enoch Trevor's workshop. There's every chance we might find the guy there. So you've been to Trevor's place of work? Yeah, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct a kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? Give me the address! You have to go there now! There's a good chance we'll find him there. Unless he's caught wind of this whole case and went, oh crap, gotta run. Well, yeah, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. I don't know where it is. Oh god. I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. So much for an address. Either they blindfolded him when they brought him to the workshop, or is one of those workshops that's constantly moving. Like Howl's Moving Castle. I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blind... Oh my god, I was joking! I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then. The place was incredible! The pinnacle of modern engineering! Even the oil he used was the very best. A very French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. The oil? The indescribable scent of that imported oil! Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Mr. Sato? Oh, the machine for your next birthday! Spray it on her and she starts going beep boop, beep boop.
I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruto. I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example.
Introducing our new perfume, Stinky French Grease. Wait, what? The man was clearly very cautious. I'm sure he would never have... Ah! Yeah, dude, he gave me his business card once. It's right here. Look, I had it in my hair the whole time. What? Let me see that. Throw it into the wind, why don't you? I can't read.
Enoch Drebber, engineer.
Seriously? That's all it says. There's no address. Oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. What if it's one of those invisible ink cases? Ooh. This dark smudge here. Is it ink?
I think perhaps it's machine oil.
Keep this away from fires.
Ah yes, possibly. Professor Harebrained mentioned something about the oil Mr. Drebber uses, right?
He said it was specially imported, very high quality.
Yes, that's right. But more importantly, that is more fragrant than this finest perfume.
So excuse me for a moment. Oh! Identified the body. Oh, dang! Maybe Cleveland, Ohio, USA is somewhere in this ink.
Doesn't appear to have any scent at all.
Don't worry, I expect that just because there's such a tiny amount on here. Like maybe there's a secret code either in the oil or this little like square rectangle cross thing. Do I have to present him anything? Okay, never mind. What do you make of this? Keep your abundant hair on. TGAA, Ohio doesn't exist yet. Sorry. Can we interact with the dog?
I had no idea there were so many people in the world.
I know what you mean. It's really packed here today.
It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds.
Has it? I shut my brain so I didn't notice.
Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Is that a backhanded compliment? There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Poppy! Poppy! Gregson, move! There's a dog! Inspector Gregson, I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. What's all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. What, no love for me?
Oh, why thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice.
Can we please play with the dog? He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper Englishman at heart. I guess. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right. Well, that's the young Chinese domain. Oi! Get over here! Bobby! Bobby! Sunshine toe. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training. Okay, cute. Okay, puppy. Here's how to pickpocket. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yup. I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you... Oh, you're retiring? Oh. Wait a minute. If memory serves right, the Morse code paper from the 5th case of the first game, it had his name on it. And every other name on that card is dead, so no! Actually great at being scared of dog. Oh! Why do I hear barking? Go get him, boy!
Oh no, really?
That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Huh, not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. France? I'll be working in the Paris police prefecture. Should be right up my alley. France? It's an entirely different country. I don't get it. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. No, don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. Excuse me. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. Gina! You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her in London. Who knows what'd become of her? Wouldn't she live with us? I suppose he's worried she'd start slipping back into her old ways. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruto. I think he's worried about the Oh, right. Yeah, she's rented. She had, like, he tried her that one time, and other times. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, isn't it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Jaina, so don't go blabbing, Amy. No, of course not. Gotta keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene? You can put them into my capable detective diva here. Puppy, 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 puppy! Alright, you're the boss. Inspector Lestrange's in charge here now. Suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. Gina, you got a new dog? Ain't he great? Toby's his name! He's so cute! Hey, Motion One!
Motion underscore one is now following.
Hope you're doing well tonight. Yeah, I'm currently playing through Ace Attorney Chronicles. And we just met a puppy! How delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Toby... Oh, dang. Did you hear... Oh, where's the dog? I was about to say, did you hear that, boy? You're famous! Let's get the important one out of the way. Where'd you find the little mutt thing? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Otto! Slight overreaction, don't you think? Don't call... Like, I'm used... Okay. I'm so used to mutt being used as an insult to either, like, people or dogs. Unless it's, using, like, say, a dog that's like a mixed breed. He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... How do they put it? Puppy! 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 Oh yeah! A bona fide detective! Sorry? Oh, he's like one of those, like, sniffing... I'm giving it a proper title and everything! It's Chief Inspector Toby to you! Oh my god! Did you hear that? Toby, you're famous! And you're already Chief Inspector! More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? I wonder if he gets along well with Gregson. Can I pet the dog? I really want to. Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruits dogs now? Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like for sniffing. I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. Are you suggesting... Ryunosuke? Are you trying to say you yourself are a dog? I can... Ryunosuke, you might need a better way to describe your talent than I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. That's nothing compared to this little fella, Otto. Oh, really? According to what the boss said. Woo! It looks like she's holding him like a gun. Once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, you can trace that scent to the other side of the world. Wait, did it... Her head bobbed back a bit. Did Toby bark? Also, look at that happy tail! What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim?
Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by a rather wide margin.
I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Otto, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police and future. Sorry.
Yes, I agree.
Right. One of these days I'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. Come on, Otto. This dog can track you down across all around the world. The dog can swim. That's not what I said.
Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much.
What was it? What's your next command? What's your next order of command, boy? Treats? Okay. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Bryn's first police dog. Oh, Toby! You're a celebrity, a chief inspector, and the very first. I found him down in the East End the other day. Someone had chucked him out in... Someone had just chucked him out in the street. Toby, can you help us find this person so we can kick them? There you go. I knew she lifted him from some... He did... Gina didn't steal the dog, okay? She just said that some ass had just threw him out.
Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals.
Oh, dog, come back! Gina? We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Does that include upstairs? Puppy! I'm going to play with my new friend here. Ah yes, Toby.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind...
Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Like I told Otto yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. How am I supposed to investigate if I can't go near it? What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Wasn't that negated, though? That's the one! That's why I only am not allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? Forensics. Forensic investigation team. That's the one, yeah!
But isn't the case that special dispensation has been lifted?
I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with ya. You're supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. Do I have to go back to Strongheart? Strange something? What was his name again? Lord Strangelove!
I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps?
That's the one, yeah! Apparently he's always watching the time or something.
Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart.
You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go in and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic.
Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing.
Oh yeah? Honestly. Do I need written permission? Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all that is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. Alright then, them's the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. It was great, wasn't it? I had a real laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about being found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? That might be a sore topic to bring up with her. Yeah, and all those main things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job. But watching someone else get it in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. Schadenfreude? It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yeah, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. Yeah, I was wishing the same thing during that trial. It's like, sir, a man just died. But my science! I suppose I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that article, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber? That's the one, yeah! So police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him a gut ache. Maybe lay off the fish and chips for a bit? But I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. Yeah, that's what I was thinking! So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got two eyes what don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. Heterochromia? Or is it like one eye is a lazy eye? I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Devil as in the boss? Oh, you know, that Scowling Reaper what's always glugging down glasses of that blood red plunk. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always added in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Oh no! Food fryer on trial for the murder of Gregson. How do you plead? Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod who throws glasses and wine bottles like they're nothing, you're equally bad off with both. Suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Let me put that one to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding that fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're wait! Woo! I got an idea! We have a dog! About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know I to E. So if it ain't too much blatant trouble. Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. Hey, they know what I'm thinking. Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. Give it to Toby. It turns out that this is very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say! Let's have a whiff, then. Not you! It's for the dog! You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Alright, I mean Toby. Bobby. Best character is now tied with Wagai. Wagai versus Toby, who's best? I can't decide. His sense of smell is so good he can track people over the oceans, can he? Professor Harebrine informed us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. Ready, Toby? Fire! Sniff, sniff. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean, if If he follows the scent of this oil, yep. Toby could lead us to that dodgy cop's workshop.
That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping.
Alright then, I'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What? Wait, when? Once a pickpocket. If I can lead everyone to that Dreba's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week.
Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted.
Poor Gregson. You'll have to start taking orders from Toby. Alright then, Otto, leave it to me. Sorry. Also, I just noticed Toby's collar matches her neckerchief, and are leashes a thing in this universe yet? Because, I don't know, like if Toby runs and gets lost, we're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be going on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. What? It ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson again. Ready, Toby? Got that oil scent, have you? Come on then, boy. See you later. At least have a rope, Gina.
I do hope the scent of that oil leads to that swindler's workshop.
Yeah, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Let's not go that far, you know, okay. Oh wait, they found it? I don't like the look of that table. I believe this is it. Oh wait! Okay, crap. I thought they found Drever's laboratory. I got them mixed up. The chemical smell really assaults the nose. There's plenty to assault the eyes in here. Oh, that lamp.
It looks as though the doctor isn't here.
But we're here now, so we may as well do some... Oh wait, but we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you become, Mrs. Sato. You could just have a look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Okay, I forgot I had to investigate the stairs. These stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go and see what we can find out. Part of me was worried that if I came up, that I would come up here with Gina and Toby would start, like, sniffing and running around.
Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking IK had taken place.
Yep, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment.
What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrine went to in order to obtain the research grant.
No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it.
Yes, of course. It is amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British.
So very... Wait, Don't worry about that. You never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. And... Okay, maybe it's because it's ye olden times, but... I feel like you can find this level of deception anywhere.
Oh look, is that...
Hey!
Lord Van Zeeks?
So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we? Let's leave! Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance.
But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate the machine.
As long as we don't touch anything. Meanwhile, we see Van Zeek's just poking everything from the top. Do you mean Lord Strongheart?
Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we'd like.
She could have been at the center of the explosion here and would have bent her steel will. Okay, this wasn't here yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just as baffled too.
But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh, they must have moved it from the Crystal Tower to here. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Hairbrain said in court, it's made of wood.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and falling from great height,
Excuse me.
it's relatively unharmed.
Damn, that's strong wood.
What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say?
I understood that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished the work.
But sadly, not with the body inside.
Did you want the body in there? No, that's alright. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. We can make note of it. This is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it. Yay!
What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
And what they call the birdcage was right in the middle of it all.
But look, Mr. Naruto, that metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designed to open.
Eh? The floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred. The birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. Is that what was supposed to happen, but then something went awry?
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there?
Eh.
Look at that horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing?
That's exactly what I thought when I first saw it.
It makes you think, doesn't it? If only it had just been a normal horn,
none of this would have happened. Testing an instantaneous kinesis machine in 3, 2, 1. That's almost exactly what I thought as well.
I bet I can predict what you're going to say next in that case.
Oh wait, no, that's not Rinosuke. You're about to say nothing ever goes to plan.
Oh no, I would never say something like that.
Wait, am I supposed to examine everything? However much I look at them, I just can't come to terms with those Temari handballs floating in the sky. Oh yeah, Rinosuke was like, wait, these are aliens! Like extraterrestrial!
You've been glaring at them constantly since you came up here.
Sorry. The feelings of wanting to ride in one and wanting never to set foot in one are fighting it out inside me.
But if you don't look where you're walking, you might fall from the stage.
I don't think I noticed. That's how fiercely the battle inside me is.
I think you should make peace with riding in one, Mr. Naruto. It really would be much safer that way.
I would, personally, like, honestly, I would love to try riding one, but I know the whole risks behind it. It's like, do I want to ride one, or do I just want to, like, I don't know, ride in one, but very close to the ground?
Oh, isn't it exhilarating? All this different architecture from all corners of the world.
It does make you feel a bit like an explorer, doesn't it? I know it's all subjective, but the onion-shaped roofs have rather caught my attention. I guess they are kind of onion-shaped.
It is very subjective, isn't it?
Japanese buildings with their wood and paper construction have excellent ventilation. And I've realized that British buildings, being made from brick and stone, are very strong and long-lasting. The more you know about how things are done in other countries, the more you understand your own.
Oh yes, I do agree with you there.
But I can't help wondering what an onion does for the roof of a building. I mean, I know it's playing on my mind because I don't like the taste of onions. You really aren't unless your taste in vegetables dictate your taste in roost, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, Naruhodo and me would not get along because I love onions. Funnily enough, there's this podcast I follow, and the host, he doesn't like onions or spicy food, and he brings up a very good point. Like, onions they specifically evolved, like, to like, hey, I'm an onion, don't eat me. And humans are the only group of people that see that and go, how? Oh god, this hurts! How? I want more. Where's her? Sorry, I just noticed her pose, but either the book's gone because of a glitch, or she had this is an actual animation where she doesn't have it. I heard that a ride on the Ferris wheel is a favorite romantic outing among young London couples. I think their romance will be slightly spoiled by the abject terror, perhaps. But then I'm not a Londoner. Fear of heights. Are you a little scared of heights, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's not that I'm scared, not at all. It's just that staying on the ground seems so much safer. Well, perhaps I shall have to ask Iris and Mr. Sholmes to accompany me on it in that case. Oh, Ryunosuke would not like airplanes. When you put it like that, part of me does want to give it a try. Oh dear, it is complicated for you, isn't it? Oop. Least approachable man in the world winner 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm beside you. Lord Van Teeks? What? Beautiful weather we're having. I thought Ryunosuke was saying, hi, nice outfit. Did you get a new haircut? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you... Nice drink of water. I'm running out of words that start with N. Or unequipped to read the signs. Speaking of beverage... Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entries to this area is prohibited. And yet you're up here! Well, thing is, Lord LCJ Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me! Sorry, I just love that. Like, we're allowed up here as long as we don't disturb anything. Or as long as we don't touch anything. Why did you poke me then? You're not evidence in this case as far as I know. Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Teeks about. Tell me about your dead brother! Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. I get the feeling it has everything to do with this. Or until later case. Let's start with the more recent, and then we can get to the hard-hitting ones. Aren't the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. Trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard. Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So, I was just wondering, I realize it's probably not possible, but, do you have anything? We'd very much appreciate any clues you can give us. Can Susato do the talking for me? Yeah, she really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Or the Reaper by the bangs. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Whoa! Sorry, like, I was expecting a really thin, old Like, imagine Santa, but a lot thinner and with longer hair. Though it appears he has already had that black monocle at the time. What? Nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? Good point. What is it about Lord Van Zeeks? Something just can't work him out at all. He has resting bitch face? Okay, let's get to the hard hitting. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zeeks. You... Nikon camera. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? No, not like that. Well, okay, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. I'm now wondering, is your prosecutor's badge Clint's? Professor, you mean? Why are we laughing? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? Hey! You're too kind. Are you gonna tar all... $1997 with the same brush next. So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zeeks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tussbell's Museum of Waxwork?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I'd feature in one of the displays there. Really? I didn't see it! For public scorn. Of course the infamous Reaper, the Bailey, would have one, wouldn't he?
Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
A particular waxwork? Wait, you mean... Yep, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. How can you tell his skin is already kind of pale? Yep. I'm sorry, it's just... Okay, at first I thought maybe this dude could have been Sherlock Holmes, or Herlock Sholmes, sorry. But hearing the thing about the monocle and, like, I guess curious thing with the eye, maybe it's Enoch Drebber hiding in plain sight? The file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright? Who is this? Lord Van Zeeks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. Can see... Are we referring to the apprentice as it?
Lord Van Zeeks?
May we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Oh! Oh! That was the last person I expected!
Your posture, your presence, it can only be. It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
Did he lose his memory? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered it, this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow.
Can it really be?
Wait! Get back here! Too late. What's going on here? Get him back here! What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, we do.
Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. Did they? Okay, either Cosma remembers us just fine, or maybe those months there was some brainwashing. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. Called it! Amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself.
He has amnesia?
Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant, on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court? Maybe that'll jog his memory. It's like, wait a minute, I recognize that dude in the defendant's chair. Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Thanks. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Sasato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. But she called out Kazuma-sama. Either he really does have amnesia, or he's faking it, or maybe Lord Strongheart did this thing. He's like, oh yeah, oh hey, welcome to the UK. By the way, come downstairs. We're gonna give you the there's no war in Bossing Say treatment.
You'd already met that masked man, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah, yesterday in Great Britain. Well, yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zeek's office.
I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
That prick! I know. We're gonna need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. Huh? The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs. Well, we could do without that. What if they find you up there? What about, would it be like internal affairs? Let's go, Mr. Sato.
Of course.
Oh yeah, the statue that's missing the arm.
Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors.
Can we leave? I'd like to turn up my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery. The bakery? Is that the bakery? Okay. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that. Something reminds me, there's this gif somewhere of, I think it was of a cat. It was approaching a hamster, and I think the cat approached the hamster with, I think it was hissing at it, and the hamster was already eating, but as the cat hissed, it started eating faster.
I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere.
That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Ah well, I suppose we'll just have to come back later. Is Esmeralda here? later. Fuck, what? What am I missing? Wait, come back later. I guess? Examine things here. Oh, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. The skeleton? The Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside? Oh, he's ignoring it. Mrs. Sato, can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about that? It's how I cope. I'll be sure to remember that from now on. That looks like an owl and a crow up there. Taxidermy? I know, and they haven't even twitched since we came in. Well, no, they wouldn't have. Oh, they are taxidermy mounts. Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Dharma doll on display in the office instead. Yeah. Like, I remember there was a joke somewhere of, like, there was this room somewhere full of, like, moose heads, deer heads, and all sorts of heads, and it's like, how do you go in that room and feel comfortable with all these soulless eyes peering down on you asking why? I suppose it's Dr. Said's desk. I would not like to work in a place like this. It's very tidy though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes. And the chemical smell can't be good for you. That would explain why her eyes had like dark circles. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with a one-eyed Dharma doll watching over me, but that's it! Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. Don't touch those! That's worrying. Because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Oh, yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals in here sometimes. What? I feel like this is a bad place to eat, because either your food can contaminate the bodies, or the bodies can contaminate the food. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, all looks quite innocent. So why is that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? It might be best not to ponder too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air? You'd either have to have a cast iron constitution, or plug your nose. Or a really terrible sense of smell, that too. Those large jars. Dang, I didn't see those up there. And is that a spine? Or vertebrae? Seem to have pale things floating around in them. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something. Or like a pickled umeboshi plums we make back home. Just don't eat them! Ah, Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution. Probably as an example of some rare medical condition. Mrs. Sato, there are some things in the world that is perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. Oh. So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors or umeboshi, aren't they? Of course. I think that's it.
What a shame that the symbolic landmark has been damaged like that.
Yes. Unfortunately, the birdcage crashed in the most prominent position possible. It's the gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Playing God, eh? Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis.
But imagine what might happen if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location.
Like...
The death toll could have been far worse.
Oh, good point.
So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise.
Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, or next time birdcages will rain down on all of you. That's a film remake of the birds that I wasn't expecting.
Your faith is much stronger than I realized.
Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam? It was by studying alone. I prayed so much.
Oh look, a flying balloon. I've never seen one in the flesh before.
I can't understand how they can fly. And so high up as well.
Oh, but think of the view, Mr. Naruhodo. You must be able to see for miles and miles.
I do think of it. It's terrifying. I mean, it would be certain death if you fell out.
I'm sure they're perfectly safe. After all, they've been invented by some of the brightest minds in the world.
Let's not forget that we know at least one has exploded. I'm sure there are other ways to fly. The stage up there is where the experiment was set up. It's very high, isn't it?
About 30 feet, I believe. Or 9 meters if you prefer. Craning your neck to see up to it starts to hurt after a while, doesn't it?
Yes, we need to get up there and look around properly. Although if I'm honest, climbing all those stairs makes my chest hurt.
Oh dear. I think perhaps you should exercise more, Mr. Naruhodo.
For me, going up those stairs makes my legs hurt. Like, well, specifically my thighs.
Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it all. I can see it at such close proximity with my own eyes.
You've really been looking forward to the Great Exhibition, huh?
Oh yes, when I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck.
But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower.
I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly.
Is there anything else I need to look at that might kick up something?
Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned.
Yes, and that's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident.
Poor Professor Harebrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this.
Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Dude! Time and place! Ouch. I'm a bad person. Yes, you are! Wait, am I... Wasn't I'm not allowed to go upstairs? Better not try going up those stairs to the stage area now. If we were to bump into the forensics team, it sounds like it could make trouble. What do I do? Wait. Oh, dang it, I overlooked that. Look at that big, thick book here. I feel dumb.
Ah, there appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic team's spending, I think.
Oh? What is it?
It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... Well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? What way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month! Like, do they not have like, cleaning? Like, to decontaminate something? Is it a... Are they doing one-use scalpels? 500. They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened, too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. 500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly be using all them for? Finally, something new! Eek! Hey! Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so... So you thought you'd snoop around? That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Hey! Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told... Wait a second. Okay, I was wondering if either Mr. Drebber was just Mr. Drebber is actually Courtney Scythe in disguise. Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Gluteus Maximus man's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings. On Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. I can't remember the name of the medical symbol, which has like the two snakes in the rod, but I noticed one of those snakes is on her hand. So you want to know what the forensics investigation team determined from its examination of the scene. Whoa! The victim, Mr. Odie Asman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Spank Man, who appeared moments later, partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. That can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true. But sadly, in this case, that was not the case. This man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared were the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British Justice... the thing. But one day, they'll be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. You look evil! Smiling! Oh my, but that would mean... at the instant that the thing actually took place. So, where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. And that thing is impossible, yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even worse! Whoa! Oh dang, I thought that was Courtney. Also, wow, the plague mask. Mama, what is this? Ah, where'd she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello? To meet you. Pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Do you know... Mama. Yes? Can I cut this one up? No! What? Whoa, God! I've never seen inside an East End person before. I want to know what it looks like. Oh, Jesus. Put the meat cleaver away. You're supposed to... Those belong in the kitchen. Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see. I can hear you, you know. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience.
Oh dear, it's Naruto. You're as pale as a corpse.
Let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber.
I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down.
Toby! Toby!
Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months.
Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. We ought to find him at Madame Tuspel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit.
Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Excuse me.
Here we are again, at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't gotten used to it.
Can we leave? I still like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery. Susato-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Eep! What's the matter?
It's Naruto. Look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before.
Wait. Kick him in the knee! Punch him in the gut, see if he reacts.
Looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes, down to the very last detail.
Ah!
What is it?
Oh, sorry, I think you'll find that's the temporary waxwork himself. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. I can't do French accents, I'm sorry. Oh, yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruto. I must say I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel.
My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs.
Really, already? You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Schultz can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties.
His habitual duties?
Hello.
Shh! Do not disturb, huh?
Poor Susato-san, she looks very perplexed. Hey. Kick him!
We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he?
Called it! What? Okay, I know from that angle he's beating up the wax murderer thing, but from where I'm standing, it looks like he's pretending to beat up Susato. I think you might find that he's actually nearby.
Oh, what do you?
Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! The world-famous great detective in waxwork, Sherlock Sholmes. Ah! You killed her! My most humble apologies.
I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment, via London.
My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality.
I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far for that matter. You haven't eaten at all? Oh my god. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as of yet.
This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's fast. Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit has always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
What? I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom.
Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. What was it?
Does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
Ooh, a fact that I must ask you to keep away from Miss Madame Tuspel's at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? Well, okay, let's start with the small and then the big. We're in the process of trying to track down someone. Who?
Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Harebrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
A swindler and an engineer? Quite the modern man. He also seemed to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on. That's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance at least, I may be in a better position to help. Yes, Trevor's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. I'm gonna present the photo and then press him on Kazuma. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this?
It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek.
Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. So looking at the photograph won't be particularly... Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
Everyone's turning pale in this case. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what event led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Either he really did lie, or because he's such a crap detective, he was like, this guy is dead! No, he isn't. Yes, he is! Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi. Not quite sure.
He was wearing some sort of mask, and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama.
You got some splaining to do!
You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead.
Spill the beans. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. That's your excuse? But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. I don't don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruto? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes. You lying sack of shit! I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. Just tell me now! For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruto. Will you indulge me? What is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. I almost said thick curtains. The professor exhibit. Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price, you understand. Aren't we sharing a place? So it'd be like, you wouldn't be making any money from this. The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
Well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone?
The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it. Are you being serious? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness. I can never tell you, that's the point.
Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Gratefully received. Is Tuspel's gonna kill us for looking behind there? So the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure.
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go see the special exhibit.
30 these heavy curtains at last. $5 shillings we've had as pay. Doesn't seem right somehow Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it?
No. We could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills.
Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detective. Diddling. Hi diddly ho, Detective Eno. Is that what makes Britain great? Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors.
Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think.
Oh boy. What? Where'd the head go?
Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in.
Mrs. Sato, I say we turn on our heels and go straight home. Really? Be a really big confectionery.
We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already.
True. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely... Seriously, where's the head? We paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else.
This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved.
This could work as like a zombie exhibit. Be that as it may. Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineering here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we?
Yes, we'll get what we paid for.
I see the owl in the background. Is that fear or frustration as thinking Chisato's voice tremble?
This must be the killer. I think known as the professor.
Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood.
The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it?
Minus the head.
Like all the models in this place.
I know. It looks like it'd start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. guess all I can examine is the head.
So this is the condemned man.
Yeah, the so-called professor.
Then, perhaps, his head was chopped off by a guillotine? But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost.
Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Sato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see?
Then, perhaps Mr. Sholmes absentmindedly forgot to reattach it?
That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps...
the thief absentmindedly forgot to include the head when they returned it to the museum.
And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief.
Could there have been some reason why only the head was returned?
Well, whatever the reason. It means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. Really? Looks like a piece of broken glass. From the Crystal Tower? Quite a big piece, too.
It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing.
Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from?
I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength?
Why? Wait. Called it! It's from the Crystal Tower!
Because the glass had to span a particularly wide area. Such as in a big building, for example.
Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too.
You don't mean...
Exactly. The Crystal Tower of the Great Exhibition.
But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside this waxworks jacket?
Makes you think, doesn't it? Earlier in court we established that the machine was a trick. And now I discover this fragment of glass here in this waxwork. Can I... Is it just a coincidence? Can I look at it? This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide.
Yes, I've never seen anything like it.
If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin.
There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know.
Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely.
Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of that great structure.
Is there anything else I can look at? Okay, I guess that's it.
The exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real.
It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat.
And he has a large shovel in his hand, too. Look.
Perhaps we should investigate it in a little more detail. Why only from this angle? Wait a minute. Did I just see a monocle on this dude? He has a monocle! What's this here?
Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so... I believe it's probably a camera.
Camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as well as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera?
Taking photos of corpses? I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment of a dead body. A dead body came back to life as a ghost in film. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. Photographic plate inside a camera. Ooh! Damn it, I want to see it! What's a photographic plate?
It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look.
You should see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? She could be a mechanic! It's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern? It's not like a Japanese chochin paper lantern, actually, is it?
lamp, lantern, chochin. The point is, it casts very little light. To be walking alone in the graveyard at night with only this... Well, I certainly couldn't do it.
I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight. What? That cane looks... Look... Oh wait, sorry, it was a shovel. I thought it was a cane. I forgot. I thought it was a cane.
What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was a man doing with a shovel in a graveyard?
Mrs. Sato? Yes? That's a spade, isn't it?
No, it's a shovel.
No. Shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
We've been through this, Mr. Naruto. It's a shovel.
Oh, is this the stepladder argument? No. Although, we haven't considered trowels.
We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement.
So we're gonna bury that chance. You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? Okay, now for the big thing I noticed. If I could just get the right angle.
I can't see his face very well.
Can you?
Perhaps if I just...
Oh, do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruto? Tickle it! I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Tickle it! Ah!
What on earth? How can...
I don't believe it. A black monocle!
Mr. Naruto, is it possible that this man is...
Yes. Oh, I haven't seen that profile. It's Enoch Drebber. The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him. Indeed it is. Oh! Mr. Sholmes, I thought for a second that wax figure was like actually Enoch Drebber. This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yes, that's right. Just who is this guy? Why is he here? Let me guess, deduction dance? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So, then the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved over my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head tout de suite, as Madame would say. Or I'll be in grave trouble, no pun intended. A very hungry Iris still awaits my return to Baker Street. Preferably with rations. Ugh.
Do you know, though, something about this room is strange.
Strange? Why is that owl? Is that what you mean?
Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Mr. Sato. Do go on.
And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely could never really have happened, could it?
I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incident involving the professor 10 years ago. Finally! Can I look at the bird? No. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, every one being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. And that's where the Hound of Baskerville thing is from. And also, is that where that fancy collar came from? Enormous hound. How awful. After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. Closed court? So you mean the professor's identity? As you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. He faked it. He faked his death. The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Wake me up! Wake me up inside! He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. There was a witness? Enoch Drebber! Of course, my dear fellow. It was none other than... young man in the white overcoat. Enoch Drebber. He saw it happen? So this is a waxwork model of Enoch Drebber. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20. It's horrifying. Wait, so it was 10 years ago, and his hair must have turned white from the shock. Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Called it! Yes, I'll show him the photograph we have of him. His hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page in the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was created here at Madame Tuspel's. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place. In a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. Yes, what was he up to? Do you know? Professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Yeah, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did the shock of the So too did talk of the shocking witness accounts of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did the people stop believing it? Why, simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as was established in fact. Did the government, cover it up? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. What? That would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation. The young man subsequently vanished from society, and nothing has been heard from him since. Yeah, it's rather striking then that he should resurface now, don't you think? Of course the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, or maybe Drebber invented hair dye? It's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. Ah! Gina! What the bleeding door, Otto? What have you gone and done? Gina, what are you doing here? I asked Iris and she said this where you'd be, so... So! Gina, not so loud in the museum. Madame Tuspel's will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be a more pressing concern. She just launched something in the air. Also, where's Toby? I still have some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... Okay, Gina, we understand. But please, put down the gun. Also, we're indoors. No one's gonna see it. Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here? What brings me here? What do you think? We found it. We found that dodgy cove's workshop. What? Toby! You found Dripper's workshop? Yup. Toby's nose took me straight there. Thank you, Toby. I hope Gina gives you lots of treats and hugs. The boss and the others are heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. I'll get the boss to write it out.
Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way over there at once.
Alright then, see you there. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here being still. Huh? What? Where are your eyes? I know my place. In the exhibit over there.
Oh dear. Someone's feeling sorry for himself.
Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madame would have me pay monetary recompense and Iris's dinner plate would be empty. Forget that! I'll pay for it! Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage! I'll offer to share the cost with Mr. Sholmes, then.
I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thank you, Mrs. Otto. Right, let's go. Are we rich? Whoa. Oh! Are those crossbow bolts I see?
That looks like... Oh, it's another machine.
Indeed it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally. Ah, so you got it, eh?
Poppy! Gina, well done for finding this place.
Susato, please thank Toby.
In such little time, you really worked miracles.
It's Toby here who's a miracle worker. Sniff, sniff. I don't know why, but her face looks... I just looked, for a brief second, looked like her... It's like, oh lord, everyone back away, Toby farted. Oh. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. It looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Oh god, what if he's allergic to dogs? Also, I just realized, I think his full name is Tobias Gregson and the dog's name is Toby.
So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here.
Oh, what a shame.
Well,
well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate.
According to what Jaina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that your lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude I've paid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you open a snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Get crack-a-lackin'. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensics team are on their way here as we speak. Them again. I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Yeah. Why is there a trophy? So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. Right. Let's do this. Let's get down to business. This appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's impressive looking back. I would not have thought of using a trophy as a back massager. No doubt if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. Oh, you dumbass! There's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist should wish for no higher honor. Oh. Maybe it's fake. Would you like a massage? No! I'm fine! I had no idea it was such a grand thing.
I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks.
I couldn't agree more, my dear madame. And how about you, Mr. Nerudo? Would you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not gonna let that go, is he?
It's curious though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be probably on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times.
Look at it! Look at it!
The metal plaque here. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it?
But clearly Mr. Drebber really was a talented scientist. Oh, I thought there was something else here. Like maybe look under and there's blood. What on earth is this?
An aeroplane, Mr. Naruto. One day, scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies.
Is that how the trick will be described?
Sorry?
Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it?
Oh, well, this model is, yes, but a real aeroplane would actually fly in the sky.
Well, suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky? Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported. Oh, Naruto.
So to you the solution is even taller towers? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto. The machine is covered by the special dispensation. There will be serious repercussions if you were to examine it, from the Crown and the government.
What are they doing then? Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose chains dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bound for Toby here, my dear fella.
British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Mr. Sato. This door doesn't want to open. Kick it! Yeah, it looks like got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard. So hands off till he gets there. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute. I want to bash my head into it. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Grayson looks as though he really enjoyed that. Oh dang, I didn't even see his face.
Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side.
No, Trevor must have fled at the first sign of danger.
It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts. Oh, do you suppose...
Crossbow bolts these. I'm just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yup. That's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Whoa! Didn't they just say no one was in there?
Oh, is something wrong, Mr. Sato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too?
Yeah, I didn't know. What do you reckon, Toby? Yeah. Toby says I love you. Right, wind the grace. See? Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. God damn it. Alright, someone is in there. I think they just left. Ah, this rotten bleeding look. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were countenance, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted... That was fast! There, you may enter at will. You confused minutes with seconds. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are you waiting for? None for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Oh. Is he hiding in the safe? Wait. Guys. There's dynamite in the middle. We gotta run. What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down? Rats, there ain't no one in here at all. And also, why are there footprints on the ceiling?
But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises.
Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away. Also, is anyone gonna notice the dynamite?
There's only one door into this room.
And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. I don't trust that dynamite. What's that up there? Are they footprints? On the ceiling? Blow me! What have we got here then? Whoa. Looks like someone's trying to burn something in a hurry.
Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints.
To what? To that Professor Harebrain's bombing machine, innit? Blimey! If we had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There is something of great interest here, too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of the pillar. Rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo.
Must investigate the entire room thoroughly. And before the forensic investigation team arrive, too.
Okay, can we take care of this? Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Mr. Naruhodo, yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like this before. It's a bomb! Looks like a bunch of thick cigars wrapped. Mr. Sato, what's the matter? Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? What'd you say? A time bomb? Sorry, but what's a time bomb? You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. You don't know nothing, do you, Otto? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Well, thank goodness. But then, what is it? I don't know. I see, so that's it.
Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter?
Oh boy. Deduction dance? From fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. Here we go. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Dreba himself. But how could you... And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor here is without question completely genuine. Should we run? Please, Mr. Holmes, you must explain everything. How about we leave the premises first? It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. He looks up, he's pissed. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea. Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madame. I hereby dedicate this Great Deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Sato. Yes, I'd be delighted. Wait, and I just realized it. Since the bomb isn't actually lit, we should be fine, right? So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Apologies for this going a lot later than usual. I think I really spent too much time floundering about. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, and the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Okay, I'm a little... Since Drebber isn't actually here himself, how are we supposed to draw conclusions from Susato's POV? Like, she just came to the room... Like, we're all... Like, she's just as clueless as we all are, right? Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that? Indeed. The key here... is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. From the gravity in this room was reversed, and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Sato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this! An anti-gravity device, almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine the other day. How is that a gravity device? It's obviously a bomb! But then why does it have a clock on it? Most relevant question indeed. There's a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. It was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. The commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything here has been turned upside down. It's because of the anti-gravity device. I want Sato at some point to say, like, Mr. Sholmes, you're full of shit. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Dreba, before it being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. This isn't a dream, you know. Are you gonna say he turned himself into a gravity device? What was our engineer's friend's aim? Indubitably, the great clue we have to explain his actions above our heads! How is it possible there are footprints all the way up there? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madame. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Trevor's aim was singular, to escape. Maybe he threw his shoes on the ceiling to throw everyone off. Excuse me. However, there's but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. Wah! By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way.
But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently?
Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. Oh! You may recall I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
The rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. You might get motion sickness. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' Great Deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Are you daft? Poppy! I want to hear Toby's deduction on this whole thing. Sasato, please don't fangirl right now. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. Thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean, unless Drebber has connections to aperture science, there is no way. I would say that with the man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Didn't you just... Yeah! Like, you just flubbed the whole thing now. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my most enduring pearls of wisdom. Those pearls are very low quality. Had Iris come up with the exact phrasing, my original was clumsy. Yeah, I had a feeling I read it in something. It's a subtle legend.
Objection!
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. The spell's broken at last.
The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape the way you had described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room, now skillfully unraveled. The argument is as circular as the coils of rope.
I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the Great Detective's Great Deduction will lead us to the truth.
Yeah, you're right. And we gotta do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Okay, I'm not gonna reread some of the stuff. Okay, good, I can save. Wait. To think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. And utterly ridiculous. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation. The man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. You must completely discount the idea at once. That's unusually merciless of you. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. Yes, I suppose so. Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows what happened. Well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Look at that. I know, that slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? I was gonna say it's standing upright while everything else is upside down. To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me. Look, Mrs. Sato. When everything seems to be upside down in here, the stake is conspicuously the right way up. Have you noticed? Yes, that's true. But look more closely at the safe's feet. Oh, it's bolted down. There's a very large number of bolts fixing it to the floor. Think before you speak, that's what you wanted to say, isn't it? I really put my foot in my mouth there. I certainly didn't say that. It has to be this, right?
Take that!
Please? Yes. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one's trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. As you rightly say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in this room is upside down. I'm probably not going to read the rest of it to repeat. Standing keenly to attention. Unlike the safe, there's nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me... The gravity in this room was never inverted at all! My deepest sympathies for your loss? Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on! Venus is not in fact a high-gravity device. There remains one other possibility. You don't say! Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with gravity. I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all the furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Whoa! There's something written on the other side of this armchair. Oh yes, safe 432582. Safe? As in safe and secure... Buddy! As in secure lockable box, I think. Admittedly more likely. Also, why would you write this on the bottom of a chair? Like, assuming... Like, this feels way too easy to access for, like, strangers. Well, there's a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side, so yes. So you mean this number will let us open it? I wonder why it's written here, though.
Take that!
Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely, I believe, Mrs. Naruto. You had a very similar experience once, did you not? Did he? Last year. When I bought a lottery ticket, I noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book. That's it. Well, people are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what's pray happened next, Mr. Naruto? When the day of the draw came round, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always know things in the same place. Like this little book I have. I actually won the second prize. Oh, the face. But I couldn't remember what... But I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket in, so I turned my room upside down. I love how nervous he looks. I'm so used to seeing that in the courtroom. Seeing it outside is kind of freaky. Which is that a very similar scenario had clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring the access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed a combination code. You remember that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Leading to the stage in which we find the room. Yes, Mr. Drip overturned all the furniture in here, in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. Part of me wants to believe he's hiding in there. Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how do those footprints get there? Yeah, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Life was so much simpler in those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed. Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes? Really? Whoa! This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon. Yes, I think you're right. I think it's helium that's keeping it up. Green gas balloon. Why does that seem to ring a bell with me? You can see there are footprints on this balloon too. Look. Oh, yeah, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though what it tells us, I'm not sure. It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there, look. Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, do you think? If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Why would anyone be throwing shoes up at the ceiling, though? Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid. I think...
Take that!
Yes! The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data. It was a piece of a green balloon envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found. And inside the green balloon that Master Gods claimed he saw above the stage was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole machine deception. You mean to say... Oh, it's like a test machine. It's like a little test of it. Also, yeah, there's no little Okay, so that's how the body could be hidden in there. There's no opening in the bottom. If we assume the balloon in here is a model of the one used on the day, there's a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. That's why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. And then the rope. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. I wonder if some way we could see inside. Mr. Schultz has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down on us, pull it down to the ground?
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. And it could take us a very long time as well.
True. Perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, don't we? Oh! Oh!
Take that!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow?
I was found at the scene, in fact.
And in all likelihood, belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time like this. Don't tell me he's hiding in there. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? Fire away! Oh! It's the head for the statue. What the? Or for the wax model? Waxwork? Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means.
Just a moment. This is the head of a waxwork model? Does that mean... Oh goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Miss Susato. Excellent. Of course, the headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tuspels will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor.
But why is it here?
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it, sans tête, earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Harebrain's case and the waxwork abduction are connected by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Can I look at the head? Ooh. This lock does look very strong, doesn't it? There's definitely no way you could remove the mask yourself if it was put on you.
What a terrible way to treat someone, even a convicted criminal.
I know. It's starting to make me livid, actually.
Mr. Naruhodo, please.
I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you had an itch on your cheek all of a sudden. You'd be utterly helpless. I thought you were about to say, what if you were wrongfully accused?
Well, yes, that's true. But I'm not sure that warrants quite so much anger.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm reminded that... Wasn't there a film with Leonardo DiCaprio, like The Iron Mask? That had the Three Musketeers? All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights. Obviously, the man must still be in here. He's in the safe, and his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. Enoch Drebber is right here somewhere in this room. So, Mr. Naruto, will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the... Damn it, I can't save! Okay, my first guess is the safe. If not the safe, maybe the wardrobe. Look at all the mess in front of the safe. Yes, plans and accounting ledgers. Almost as if somebody was in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact. If you need to hide, there's no better place than the wardrobe. I stand firmly by that. Ah, yes. You'd had some experience with that yourself a year ago, didn't you? We'll find him in there, mark my words. He'll be curled up in a ball, trembling and hungry. In fact, my own hand is trembling just thinking about making the discovery. Never mind. He could be hiding somewhere else, you know. Okay, it has to be here, right?
Take that!
Can he breathe in there? Before we gained access to the back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us that the engineer was still in the... Did I just hear ticking? Was in fact searching for the combination to a safe. And pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber. Blam! Is at this very moment inside the safe. Knock knock! Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Also, can someone actually fit in there? Like, granted, I'm very small. I'm a very short person, but like, wasn't Drebber defined as being tall? So, wouldn't it hurt in there? So, Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1 432582. I knew that! Alright then, here goes. Knock knock! Also, isn't he trapped in there? Oh. Like, seriously, assuming... Oh wait, was there a way... I was about to say, like, if he locked himself in there, would he be able to get himself out? In the off chance that we just left? You found me! Oh, dang, his hand. Whoa! Are you a robot? Whoa! Get him in a dance circle, he'd kill. Well, not actually kill, but he'd be great on a dance floor. Or a dance circle, anyway. Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume. Correct. He has a steampunk hand! You better start talking. You took Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built. And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tuspel's. Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Whoa! Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate? Your parcel? The time bomb! I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position. Ha ha ha, I see. Silence. Beep boop. You're all gearing up to die with me then. No! Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare. That was too close for comfort. I've got one foot in the grave. Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed? He deactivated it?
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say. How is this supposed to... Anti-gravity devices don't exist. Ooh, I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, dang, I can talk to him now? Wrong button. What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we've been giving it a thorough going over. Don't you worry, Dribba. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Whistle while you work. It's not mandatory. That would have been me. For some reason, I awoke in fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly I must have a screw loose though, as though I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe? Having set this parcel ticking? Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. How about some head? Like, how about I give you like a head full of questions? Mr. Drebber, look at this, please. Ooh, woogie woogie woogie. Do you have anything to say about this? Get him on a dance floor! Are these strange mechanical movements supposed to be some sort of answer? Got a death wish, have ya? Why didn't right beside a ticking time bomb? Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. But precisely.
But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out.
Exactly! I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. So it is. I have always intended to blow this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Oh. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. I love Gregson's look. Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? Maybe a face that's punchable. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here. But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in? Professor Hairbrain's machine at the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all... Hello? Oh! What's going on here? What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here. Yes, well... Dr. Scythe again. So the forensics are here. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot, leave at once. My dear madame, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe? Oh, they're friends? Or used to be? Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe? If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell, you... Amscray! But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruto. Yes? It would appear that our delightful entertaining investigations have run their course. But... let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. There's the evil smile! I said get out. Now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson. Understood. And I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we never have found this place. And the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb sitting there. I just lot disarmed. Spectre. Load of poppycock, get out! Ka. Someone giving you a chuckle, has it? Grandpa? So sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Is there a second? Oh! Yes, you did disarm that one. What are you... That one? You mean... Oh, fuck. Oh! I thought the one Gina was holding was live. Great! It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Hairbrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Now where am I going to get the evidence I need for this?